Welcome to our West Coast Swing Advanced Move List, where we give you everything you need to know to be an advanced West Coast Swing social dancer. My name is Brian B.
I'm Miss Megan.
From West Coast Swing Online. Let's talk about the first concept or move. Now, each of these moves is probably going to have 4 or 5 sub-moves, and as an advanced dancer, you're going to want to know all of them. So the first one's a rock and go, and there's several places that we have a rock and go. One would be off of a sugar push. One would be off of any kind of tuck, in this case a sugar tuck, where we can pull Megan out of that. And the last one, we're just going to leave her in the whole whip, would be out of a whip, where I can rock and go out of a whip. But let's quickly define the rock and go. The rock and go is where I bypass the anchor step. So instead of 1, 2, 3, and 4, anchor step, and then I lead the inside turn, what I do in the rock and go is just bypass the anchor step. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now I rock Megan 5, and don't let her anchor. I take her out for 6, and I can take this into any pattern I want. In this case, I'm going to lead a tuck, and poor Megan just has to actually follow. Second one would be anything out of a tuck turn, so a passing tuck or a sugar tuck. First one would be a sugar tuck. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's this moment. I over-rotate Megan 5, and I pull her out with both a pull and a rotation, and then I can take her, in this case, a reverse whip, but any pattern will work. Same thing with a passing tuck. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Exact same concept. Over-rotate, take her out, and continue into whatever's next. And the final and third one is anything out of a whip, and you can do this in a basic whip and closed position. And again, as an advanced dancer, you want to know all these variations, where I rock and go out of that enclosed position. But I also want to have the same ability in a whip, let's say in a hustle whip, 4, 5, 6, to rock and go my partner. And I could actually keep this going ad nauseum and then do it right out of here. Oh. And then finally let Miss Megan anchor step. There you go. Speaking of anchors, we're going to get to that in a second. Now, there are endless patterns in West Coast Swing, but here's the truth.
Everything comes back to just 3 basics. That's why we've created our free West Coast Swing pattern tree.
It's a simple clickable guide that will show how seemingly random moves all relate back to the push, pass, and the whip. You can get it in the description below or in the QR code right here. Now, I didn't mean to talk about anchor steps next, but we will since I left off with that. What about the anchor step do we need to know as an advanced dancer? Well, the first thing is that it's not actually a move. There is no official move. It's more of a concept. The concept is my center pulling away from Megan, creating elasticity and stretch. Same thing. So really, to be anchored, I don't have to actually have tucked this foot behind. I can do anything I want to create that stretch from my partner. So that's number one, just to define that. But then there are different places we can vary and should vary our anchor steps.
Yes, we can go in front. We can go to the side. And we can also go to the back.
And what's good about this is this starts to develop the conversation of West Coast Swing, which isn't pure lead follow, but if I say something to Megan, she hears what I say and she responds with something. And then I take what she responds with and I go with that. We're not having a good conversation, Miss Megan. I will tell you what to say. So you want to be able to vary those anchors both as partners and be aware of where you can and can't do that, and that will develop your conversation between you, meaning I'm not purely leading, I'm now getting some feedback from Megan. But leaders specifically, one of the things that we can do is not always end up in the same spot, meaning I could do this and stay off to the side, right? This is where you were in beginner class, but this is where you are as an advanced dancer. Now, a tuck becomes a completely different experience between you, especially with Megan varying her anchors. Number 3 is that we can scroll the anchor. This is what's called a mistake in beginner class, but as an advanced dancer, it's okay. Normally, we would freeze. I think some people call this a post, but the step before the anchor, and then we anchor off that, but we're already advanced, so we can do that. And then we can vary our anchor. But what if I purposefully 3 and 4 sent Megan back. This creates a different experience in the dance. So scrolling your anchor is basically letting it float. So Megan is going to go to when she stopped. If I don't stop her and I keep this moving, she's going to go back. And remember, the anchor is the position of us being stretched away from each other. As an advanced dancer, you just know 3 and 4 that you're going to go look for that position, even though you're being scrolled away. Like I said, that's a mistake in beginner class, but a very viable option as an advanced dancer. And finally, we can change places in the anchor. Typically something off of a whip, instead of anchor stepping and me being on this side, I can change places with Megan. And again, this takes something like a push or a whip and a left side pass and makes it completely different, and that's what advanced dancers do. They take their basics and make them way cooler. All right, concept move number 3 is mastering closed position. Probably should have talked about this earlier because we've already used it a couple of times. But there's a bunch of different things I need to know about mastering closed position. Number 1 is just getting into closed position and being able to use that position to create different patterns. But there's something that the follower needs to do, and this is going to lead into dips and ducks and some of those tricks, and Megan's going to talk about it right about now.
All right, so followers, you need to be able to get this left side really connected back into this hand on your shoulder blade.
And what we do in classes is we'll stand in closed position, and I'll tell everyone, followers take the left side back, then followers take the right side back, and you can see that significantly decreases the ability of this feeling good. So followers, that is your responsibility, because if you don't connect to that and you don't leave that side back, leaders are going to start pulling on you. They might grab a handhold of your shirt. It's effective, not good. So number 1 is getting in and out of closed position in something like a whip. But there's another skill. I did not stay in closed position right there because it's a long video. Second one is picking up closed position in an inside turn, because that is going to be what leads us into a lot of our dips and ducks and things like that. If I do it from this side, here's the skill that we need to master. 1, 2, 3, and I want to be able to look at her spine. We're going to do this slow motion. Megan's going to lift her left elbow up just over that right arm of mine. Just with the elbow. She's going to sneak that elbow real quickly. Talk about that for me.
Yeah, so followers, you just want this arm to be around your bra height, all right? And then from here, this is a good amount of space away from your partner. You should not clip them very often. I get Brian in the chest every once in a while. But unless you move your hand, you will not whack them in the head. Just sneak your arm up and over their arm.
So if you do a good job of that, this is what opens up a bunch of stuff for advanced dancers, where we roll into something like this and be... And she put me in the chest. That was great.
That was great. Yeah,
we
really
should leave that
close.
I mean, in fairness, you didn't hit me. It just clipped the microphone right off. So you're used to that space.
I am used to that space.
That's funny. I think
Is
we
it
should...
still on?
Yeah, we're still on. I think we should keep that there.
Okay.
Great. So if we are connected in those positions, then I can immediately use that to do things like change my spots of the anchor, do my rock and go, and I'm literally dancing a set of beginner or slightly above beginner patterns. But this skill of picking up the back is also what's going to lead us into things like dips, because as we get here, we can go ahead. My back is bad today, so we're not going to dip a lot. But that skill of picking up the back, followers have some responsibility and skill in that, because if you don't, it's not going to work very well or not going to feel very good. And then leaders, we have to develop that skill of picking up her back in turns, because that's what's going to lead to things like our ducks and then these moves that all the cool kids do.
Monkey bars.
Popping out there. There you go. So that's number 3. Let's talk about number 4 next. All right, number 4 is using both hands to lead all your patterns. But before we get to the fun stuff, I want to challenge you to do this. Mario Rabao once taught this to me. Okay, I can lead everything with my left hand like I've normally done. But the question is, can you lead all the patterns with your opposite hand and develop the skills with that? Can I lead a whip with the right hand? That's weird. It feels weird, even right now, right? But can I lead an inside turn with my right hand? Because already you're going to find out that I'm getting into more advanced patterns. So if I wanted to do a basic inside turn, left hand, basic, whatever. If I did it with the right hand, I'm going to end up in a different place. If I did it with the right hand and I layered on the other things that I've already learned in this video, rock and goes or changing places in the anchor, I'm going to come up with a lot more advanced patterns. Another option would be if I led a basic whip with the right hand, cool, but what if I only had that was Megan's right hand. What if I had my right hand? Okay, lead my basic whip. What else is like kind of beyond beginner? What if I led a reverse whip from that hand? Oh, well, that ends up in a different position. What if I layered on a rock and go and tucked her in front of me and a different kind of rock and go? And I slid down to this hand and I let a rock and go with that hand. That's off script. I didn't plan on doing that. But that's the idea. I get to that right hand. Can I lead a rock and go with the right hand? Go back to the rock and go section and try the whole darn thing again. Can I do a sugar push and a rock and go with the right hand? Can I do a sugar tuck with a rock and go with the right hand? I'm pretty proud of how this turns out. This is exactly the way I wanted the video to turn out. So using the opposite hand with all these things will also level up, and this is what advanced dancers do seemingly effortlessly. All right, number 5 on our advanced moves list are timing changes and things that advanced dancers do all the time, and that's they don't dance everything basic 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. They use hitches. They drag things out because they're lazy and they look cool doing it. So let's talk about a couple of those, and then we're going to get into some pattern things that will lead into some musicality and tie everything together. So number 1 is that I can dance a hitch. The hitch is basically not dancing the 1, but dancing the and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. So I hold 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Now the reality is Megan could do this and I couldn't. We have 1 and, I did the hitch too. 5 and 6, I dance 1, 2, and she's hitching, or I'm hitching and she's not. That does feel weird when we both don't do it at the same time.
Feels very odd.
So number 1 is hitching and different things where I hitch or tap, or sometimes in the old days they'd say kick, ball, change, but I don't see anyone doing that now. No one's doing an old kick, ball, change, 3 and 4. Might be a good way to practice it. A kick, ball, change, 3 and 4, but more modern is a hold and go. That would be a hitch. Number 2 is leaving counts out. I'm going to call that a drag, and that would be 1, 2, 3, and 4, hold 5 and 6. No and, but we step on the 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. This would be applicable typically if we took up space on the floor. If I did something like, I'm going to put you on the other side, Miss Megan. 5 and 6, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, where I leave out maybe the triple and just do the step part. The other timing change would be, and we get this in beginner class too, tuck turns, the and 3. If I did a basic passing tuck with no timing change, it'd be 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. But it's very common to do the and 3. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. We do this a lot in closed position. 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's just moving the triple step up in the counts where I dance 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, and 3. So I accent that and 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to talk about how that's going to match the music. But if I get into some patterns where I do this in, I could do a roll in, roll out with a rock and go from the first section. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Actually, there's the normal 5 and 6. Then I could do it with a rock and go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. But what makes West Coast swing look cooler and quote unquote more advanced would be if I did that with an intentional pop out on the and 5. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7, and 8. 9 and 10. So that's where you can get into some musicality. One of my favorite pattern series is this decapitative whip. 2, 3, and 4. She rolls 5, 6, 7, and 8. But I can create an accent. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10. So using those timing changes, but we talked about musicality. If you want to see how this links into musicality, we did a whole video on it right here. If you want everything we've ever said on the internet about West Coast swing in a cohesive way, where you move from beginner to super advanced dancer, pro level and beyond, you'll want to download the Dance Mastery membership app. It's right over here. You can click the link and get it and try it 14 days free. See you on the dance floor soon.